Well, welcome everybody. We are going to talk about CTV and where we are on the programmatic journey this morning. My name is Sean Galligan. I am the Chief Revenue Officer for Publica, which is a unit of integral ad science. And I'm excited to be joined by Nyma. I'll let you introduce yourself really quick.
Yeah, absolutely. So hello everyone, pleasure to be here today. My name is Nyma Quidwai. I oversee our client services and inventory partnerships at VIZIO Ads. We have an incredible client services team on a mission to deliver world-class customer service. So my core responsibility really entails just overseeing the full monetization process of our inventory, hand in hand with our national ad sales team. We're on a mission to not only meet but exceed client KPIs. And then we just take a really fully encompassing look at our inventory to ensure we're always finding ways to not only enhance our fill rate, but also just to create the most optimal user experience for VIZIO consumers.
Awesome. So we've had a chance to get to know each other. We just recently started working together, Publica and VIZIO. And I know everybody's familiar with the VIZIO brand, but I think everybody would probably benefit from just getting an overview of the VIZIO business.
Yeah. So VIZIO has been delivering unmatched entertainment experiences for over 20 years. We've sold over more than 100 million devices. So as you just mentioned, VIZIO brand is very well established and it's a staple in American households. Renowned for quality at affordability. But when you unbox a VIZIO device, you get access to all of your favorite apps. Netflix, Disney+, Apple TV. But one of our most celebrated offerings on the platform is our free streaming service, WatchFree+. So consumers will immediately get their hands on hundreds of free channels, thousands of free apps, and that inventory from the home screen to that inventory, which we call our CTV video inventory, to our data. There's so many components because we're a direct-to-device partner that really inspired the creation of VIZIO Ads.
Awesome. Why, in your opinion, why now? Are TV audiences seeking free or these low-cost streaming services more than ever before?
Yeah. I think it's a little bit in the answer, the question itself of it's free, right? It's free premium content. When you think about macroeconomic factors like inflation causing prices to rise across all verticals, ad-supported streaming sort of becomes a necessity in the consumer media mix. So that's why VIZIO has invested in our own free streaming service, WatchFree+, because we want to find accessible and easy ways for consumers to watch their favorite pieces of content. I mean, if we were to just, ask the room here today, how many of us have more than 5+ paid subscriptions? It's going to be a lot of us. So when you have to start making those tough choices of where do I make cuts, I think the free streaming world will continue to evolve. And I believe that the adoption will only rise in these types of streaming mediums.
I agree. Yeah, I think we'd see a lot of hands if we asked.
Yeah.
So what role has programmatic played in VIZIO's monetization strategy so far?
Yeah, I mean, look, the way we think about it is we want to make the process as seamless and as easy for consumers to tap into our inventory. Whether that be managed service, whether that be programmatic, our client services team, our sales team, we work hand in hand with the brand to figure out what's the best way forward. And so we want to have all the pipes available to connect to our inventory. So our buyers moving towards programmatic environments, we're definitely seeing that shift, right? There's a lot of control in programmatic. There's a lot of scale there. But I think what's the important distinction to make is when we talk about programmatic, it's not necessarily just an open market environment where you can access the inventory, right? We're talking about one-to-one brand deals where you're engaging with our team to know exactly where in the waterfall your ad might be running, and to be able to tap into the magic of our ACR data and really carve out segments that are unique to VIZIO. So programmatic is definitely not taking a back seat. I think it helps to increase your fill rates. It helps to continuously grow your revenue. And I think that when we think about those components, if you take CPMs as well into account, as those start to rise for programmatic, it'll be interesting to see how that shift changes from managed service to programmatic over time.
Yeah, I agree. When you think about ad buyers today, what types of data and targeting parameters are they, CTV ad buyers, what are they really looking for today?
Yeah, I mean, that definitely a hot topic. I mean, I think we can all align on some of the standards, right? There's demo, geo, day parting. Then you move into some of the more contextual ones like app name and genre and ratings and device. VIZIO operates in a very transparent environment. We want buyers to know exactly where their ads are running. And then you have validation metrics like frequency and reach. We love to share those metrics because it only validates the incrementality we can offer. And then, of course, our in-scape ACR TV viewership data. That is a core component why buyers lean forward towards a CTV partner like a VIZIO. The impact it can have on a campaign is very strong, so that's a key metric. I mean, and then look, we're even innovating even beyond that. Just a few months ago, we announced our partnership with Intuit, where VIZIO is the exclusive CTV supply partner, giving buyers access to QuickBook customers. So even that has been a game changer data point where buyers can now talk directly to small businesses and their owners.
You brought up ACR data, and so I'd love to drill into that a little bit more.
Yeah.
The ad tech and TV ecosystem has talked a lot about it, right? The power of ACR data, in particular this year. Can you explain for the audience just what it is and how it can help CTV ad buyers?
Yeah, I think that's a great question because sometimes it really helps just to simplify all the million acronyms we have going around.
We've got a few.
Yeah. So for those who are not familiar, ACR stands for Automatic Content Recognition. Now, VIZIO requires 100% opt-in before we begin collecting second-by-second viewing data, and the VIZIO in-scape ACR data is the largest single source of ACR data in the market, so we can start to make some really powerful decisions. So I think what's important to understand is VIZIO's audience is a unique footprint. It's non-duplicative with other OEMs, so when you run your media with VIZIO, you can leverage the ACR data to truly tap into net new eyeballs that you're not reaching with other streaming partners, you're not reaching on linear. And then you can then take the data from that campaign and extend it to other devices within the household, be that desktop, mobile, tablet. So that's really our answer to the omni-channel wave via our Household Connect product. And then, of course, buyers want to be able to validate, right? There's no strategy is complete without us being able to understand its impact. So then we use that same data to ensure that every engagement is outcome driven. Because we don't only want to use our data, our TV viewership data, to reach an audience. We want to ensure that we're resonating with them too. So, I think it's really the data is important and it's great, but it's really the trifecta of we own the hardware, we own the software, and we own the data, and we can create a really impactful campaign for a brand.
Awesome. So the data's it's big and it's powerful. I guess it would be great for everybody to better understand how VIZIO leverages that proprietary in-scape ACR data to innovate and do new things in the advertising space.
Yeah, I mean, let me sort of paint a picture on like how VIZIO thinks about the data-driven strategies and how we take that data and drive some of our own components in the business. And I think it'll paint a good picture for you guys on how consumers and advertisers can think about that. So Sean, you and I both turn on our VIZIO TV. We're immediately greeted by the home screen. One of us is a Swiftie fan. The other one loves NFL. Well, although now they're both kind of intertwined, so we might be seeing the same content. But you're going to see Taylor Swift-related content on your home screen, and I'm going to see football-related content on my home screen. And immediately, you're seeing that customization and personalization on your screen, and that is driven by the power of our ACR data. And then on that home screen, you'll also find our free streaming service, WatchFree+. And that's really where we begin to harness the power of our ACR data. So we look at real-time viewing patterns of audiences and say, okay, they love single series channels, okay? So we look at some of the top shows being viewed, some of the cult classics like a Baywatch or a Star Trek. Imagine being able to binge watch just that program 24/7 anytime you want. So that has really been a game changer strategy on how consumers can leverage our ACR data and how we make it more impactful to them. And then that's a golden opportunity for advertisers because you're now, unlike cable, you're able to pinpoint and really speak to a very distinct audience.
That's awesome. So we've seen a lot of articles this year talking about frequency management. In fact, the last, you can pick that up later. When I was at the latest IAB Video Summit, it was a huge topic.
Yeah.
Frequency management was a deep topic for us. How does VIZIO think about...
That's the wrong type of frequency right there. That doesn't happen on VIZIO devices.
Need a cap on that. Cap on that. How does VIZIO think about the viewer experience when constructing ad pods and being mindful of frequency? Very important topic, especially for us, balancing ad frequency with viewer experience. I mean, one of the ways we've been able to successfully manage that has been diversification in our ads. We have an incredible sales team that works with brands nationally. And then you pair that with our programmatic strengths, we have millions of ads available to us at our disposal. So we then take our ACR data and say, okay, which one of those ads are really going to resonate with the consumer? And then our ad stack is ensuring that there's diversification in that pod, because it's very important that consumers are not just consuming content on the platform, but we want them to relish in the entire entertainment journey on their VIZIO devices. So I think that's a very key component on how we balance that. It is a balance.
Yeah.
It's a lot. I wonder if you could tell us how VIZIO is addressing key challenges and pain points faced by brands in our contemporary advertising landscape, especially in an era where cable reach, as you kind of talked about, is
Yeah. I think we definitely sit in a very unique position to hear a lot of the buy-side challenges, and because we own the device, be able to address that in a unique way too. I mean, some of the challenges we hear are buyers are losing scale on cable and they need to find a way to regain those eyeballs, right? So we have our TV viewership data, where we can pinpoint these are the areas where you've lost reach, and we can fill in the gap with precision. So we're offering relevancy and we're offering scale. Buyers, they want to be able to engage with consumers during their search and discovery process. So we've placed advertisers prominently on the home screen where they can capitalize on cultural moments and they can really shine through that search and discovery process. Buyers want to think beyond the pod, right? This year we created a branded content studios where brands can now integrate directly into the content narrative itself. And so that has really helped to elevate KPIs and make brands a part of the viewing experience itself. And then, as I mentioned earlier, I think buyers want to see measurable outcomes. So we have our own in-house analytics team that tracks campaigns and ensures that buyers are really engaging. So, I mean, we have a simple mantra at VIZIO. We always ask the question, what can we uniquely solve for our brand partners? And then we reverse engineer everything from there.
It's impressive. It's a lot to think about, balancing the consumer experience with monetization for the publisher and, satisfaction and happiness for the advertiser. What more do you think we can do collectively as an industry to make it easier for brands and agencies to increase their ad spend in CTV?
Yeah, it was funny. I was just on a panel last week with buyers, and some of the biggest topics were we want more transparency, we want more standardization, whether that be on formats, metrics, measurement. So I think, there are thoughtful ways to do that. And I think in order to do that, we need to come together as an industry. There needs to be a lot of education. There needs to be collaboration. I think buyers also want to see more innovative formats. CTV it's such an incredible platform and opportunity for us to shake things up for buyers and really just create something fresh and engaging for our audiences. So I think, bottom line, if we can make collective progress, our ethos, I think we'll be advancing in the right direction.
Really small question here. What does the future of advertising look like for you, for VIZIO?
Yeah. streaming. I think streaming is going to continue to be the future. I've been mentioning myself just thinking beyond the pod and going beyond the conventional bounds of traditional ad spots is important. I mean, this year VIZIO launched our branded content studios, and I think that sort of epitomizes the shift of where the future is going. It's not just about advertising anymore. It's about immersing the brand into the very fabric of the content. We also partner with Brightline, with Innovid to bring interactive capabilities. So I think audiences are really embracing that shift. And I think the future of advertising isn't just about broadcasting a message. It's about weaving that message seamlessly into the viewer's world. So it's exciting to be a part of VIZIO where we're investing in every one of these areas and sort of getting a front row seat to watch that transformation and see that future unfold.
Yeah, I agree. It is very exciting. It's exciting to be a part of an explosive part of the ad industry.
Yeah.
Okay, so lastly, what advice would you give streaming platforms or publishers in the audience today looking to grow their share of CTV programmatic advertising dollars this year?
Yeah.
And next.
We are all trying to have a very strong Q4, so great question. I mean, look, I think we need to educate buyers on, what is unique about our inventory, right? What can you bring to the table that is a differentiating factor and what sets that inventory apart? I think having a very strong ad stack definitely helps to ensure that there's seamless ways to integrate into the inventory. I mentioned transparency. I think buyers have a lot of control with their programmatic dollars, specifically on being able to shift to partners that are transparent. And I think the programmatic world is fast moving, CTV is so dynamic, so really the approach that VIZIO takes is to remain adaptable, and at the heart of our strategy, it's always the viewer experience is the priority.
I think that's great advice. Well, Nyma, I'd like to thank you.
Yeah.
This has been a great discussion, and I'd love to thank the audience for joining us, so
Thank you.
appreciate it.